Do you struggle with the consistency of setting and maintaining healthy boundaries? Do you notice that some days you might be really strong and you're really good at it and you feel that empowerment within you, but then other days you feel kind of weak and you're afraid to speak up? Or you can hold a really great boundary with this person, but not with this person? If you have any questions regarding boundaries at all and the fact that you cannot set and maintain them on a consistent basis, then this video is for you. I want to dive deep for you so that you can understand exactly what is happening in your brain and why this is difficult for you. But I also want to share with you how you can heal this and change this so that you can start maintaining awesome boundaries in your life and to teach people how to treat you. My name is Kristen Brown. I'm a self-love mastery and relationship healing author, mentor, and speaker. And today I want to talk to you guys about what's actually going on here. Why is this so difficult? I hear so many coaches out in the world say, just set a boundary, just go set this boundary, you can do it. And then we go out in the world and we try to do it, and we feel like we're little toddlers that don't even know how to feed ourselves. There's a reason for this, and it's a really good, important reason, and one that will probably make you feel a little bit better about yourself, because always on this channel, I do not ever want you to feel shame. Shame is what we're trying to heal. That's the underlying world that is stopping us from doing the things that we need to do in life. Chase after our dream, set and maintain healthy boundaries, all the things that has to come with empowerment. That hidden shame and unworthiness within is what is prohibiting us from doing this, because it is a filter through which we see the world and that we actually act from, which leads us into the brain science of all of this. Now, many times people try to force themselves to be strong. They try to force themselves to say, I'm big and bad and I can set this boundary. But yet what happens is it often comes from a place of anger or frustration or resentment, some type of lower dense emotion that has a lot of energetic push to it. So we can do it sometimes in that moment, but it's got this energy behind it. But what happens when that emotion starts to move through us and we start to reclaim our center, and then we start to get wishy-washy and weak? I'm raising my hand high on this one because this was my exact pattern, and I didn't understand what was happening. Why can't I maintain this even when I'm not mad? I remember thinking to myself, when I get back to happy, then I'm not strong anymore in my boundaries. It's like everything that I stood for was washed away once I was back in my happy and joyful, authentic self. Here's what's happening. Many times we know when we're being mistreated. We consciously know this is not okay. Whatever it is that this person is doing is not okay. We may also consciously know that we need to set and maintain a healthy boundary. But yet, we don't know it to the effect that it's natural within us. It's now just in the frontal part of our brain. We're conscious of it. We know this is what we need to do. Many times we try to force it when we're in a good place and say, hey, don't do that. Here's the thing. But then we get pushback from the person, or we're strong in that moment, but then we're weak later, and we don't really understand what is happening. Like, why is this so inconsistent for me? Here's what I need you to know. This is the most important thing, and this has to do with brain science. Kristen Brown didn't make this up. As we're coming up through life and we get programmed into a certain way of being, which becomes our personality, it all has to do with the way our brain is programmed based on the information that we took in from our youth that was processed through our brain. And then that's who we become. We start acting from this programmed way of thinking. What's happening is that we have neurons that have been firing and wiring together for so long that becomes our dominant way of thinking and acting. It is the way our brain goes naturally. Our brain goes to this naturally. So in order to be able to set and maintain healthy boundaries with a consistency that's going to actually yield really amazing results in your life, because when boundaries are really rooted in love of self, in worth of self, what happens is we stand very firmly in those boundaries, and we don't have shame, we don't have regret, we don't have guilt, and we don't feel like we're doing something wrong. Before we get that worked out in our head, there's always going to be this little niggle over here in our brain saying, why does this feel bad? Or maybe I shouldn't do this. Or we feel guilt for doing this, or we feel sorry for the other person because we are setting and maintaining a healthy boundary with them. And that is, once again, because of the brain chemistry. So What we need to do this is to start to reset the foundation that we think from. Now, many times that foundation is shame and unworthiness recovery, like I told you, but it could also be false and limiting beliefs about how we view the world. For some reason, we think that we're bad or wrong, or there's something not okay with us, and that is why this person is fighting us on this boundary. So when you start to do the work to actually heal your unconscious mind, where you bring all those limiting beliefs forward into your consciousness. So instead of silently driving the train of your life, i.e., your behavior and your personality, instead of just being this background system that's driving your train, your autopilot, what happens is you retrain your autopilot to think in a way that you are worthy of this, and this is the correct thing to do. And not only that, it's going to serve everybody around you. I actually have a whole chapter on this in my book, The Recovering People Pleaser, A Spiritual Guide to Reclaim Your True Worth and Attract the Love You Deserve. When we start to heal the foundation of how it is that we are showing up in life, we are naturally and organically going to change into a person who knows themselves, who's rooted in love of self, and is not afraid to set and maintain healthy boundaries with people. In fact, I have a whole chapter, can you see that? On retraining your brain, because this is so important. Once you start to do the work to retrain your default setting, because right now your default setting is lack of empowerment. I'm doing something wrong. I am something wrong. I shouldn't be saying this. I feel guilty. Whatever the feelings are that are stopping you from setting and maintaining healthy boundaries, that default is going to be, this is the correct thing to do, and here's why. Not only that, you don't even have to be conscious about it anymore. You don't have to go, oh my gosh, I need to set a boundary. What's going to happen is you are organically going to go, hey, that's not okay with me. That's going to process through your new system, and you're going to be willing to set a boundary in that moment. So if you are someone who is struggling to really set and maintain those healthy boundaries, like you just feel like you can't get any leverage with this, and it just doesn't seem to be working for you, it's only because your default way of thinking is driving your behavior. Once you change that into a healthier, healed default way of thinking, then setting and maintaining healthy boundaries is literally going to become your autopilot. So if you're interested in getting my book, The Recovering People Pleaser, where I go through all the ins and outs of self-healing, it's all within this book. You can find it on Amazon. I will put the link up here, I believe it is. And also, I will put the link down in the description below. I invite you to start doing your work, the work that's really going to matter, because we can't just change it from a foundational level, a level of forcing ourselves to be something that we are quite literally wired not to be. So if you got a lot from this video today, I super hope you give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share with someone you love and leave me a comment below. I love reading everyone's comments. It makes me feel closer to you. I get a better understanding about what it is that you guys would like to learn about on this channel, and it helps me have awesome content. So until next time, everybody, remember, you matter. Now go love yourself.